They're already doing a ton of really great stuff. I guess the other way to go is make those items non-tradable. All right, what is the coolest new fix or change in the next patch coming out? I can't say it. There's something that I've mentioned. I don't know if it's coming next patch or not, actually. Well, there's something that I've mentioned many times on stream that is coming eventually. And it may or may not be next patch, I don't know. Next major patch. Right, get in there. My big raptor boy. And more questions. I'm gonna turn this. I'm.
Passing by, say hi. Hey, what's up, Spyro? How's it going? Let me open this up. Add source. Browser. That's not what we want.
Friggin' thorns or spirit thorns when you do.
There we go.
Veil spirit.
Birthday party? Let's go. Happy birthday. Hope you have a great one. How old are you? If that's not an offensive question. Never know. Can I make this larger?
Is it supposed to actually cast? I don't know. See if we can find it.
Seems to be fine. I can put it there.
Veil spirit. Use a veil spirit that orbits you for a short time. During this time, automatically shoots nearby enemies with spirit thorns from veil spirit. Yeah, I think it just automatically shoots. I don't think it's triggered by you. I guess I could have just done this to find this.
34 you. It turned 31 recently, so we're in the old folks club.
Yeah.
We are in the old folk club.
It should just be. It should just happen. I don't think it needs to have you actually.
Hey Warrior,
shoot.
how's it going?
It's been a while since I've played Spriggan Form. Should do that again. as I just picked Beastmaster like 2 minutes ago. Next cycle, I think I'm gonna. Hey, my rock Spriggan Form. It's been a while since I've done that.
Seems like it's okay.
It's a while since I've done any shapeshifting build. I could do a hybrid one.
Seems fine.
That sounds like fun. Hey Mike, will you try PoE 2 in November? Yeah.
Alright, where are we at? I think we're getting some favor.
Like even if I wasn't a fan, it would be kind of irresponsible not to. But yeah, I'll be trying it. I tried it at Gamescom last year. Speaking of Gamescom, was awesome. We were there on the setup day.
I don't make the screen overlay.
We got a chance
I don't
to
think
chat
there's
with
anything
them.
being shown.
It was that was really cool. I really love how they're like still so passionate about their game, like even so many years later. It's really awesome. Alright.
Is the volume okay for this?
How's it working at home in Canada? I hear you're beautiful over there. I hear it's beautiful over there. But do you sometimes miss going to the office and interacting with the team? Well, I've never gone to an office for this game, so I don't really miss that necessarily. But yeah, I think there's a lot of value in
We're
having
next level
a shared
90. Let's
workspace.
go. That's really good for one day.
The whole like, hey, come check out what I'm doing. Oh, hey, look at what you're doing. Sort of like interactions that you don't get when you have completely like separate at home workspaces. Like you just don't
Racing
see everyone
Strike, yeah,
every
Racing
day.
Strike looks
There's
really
a little
good.
bit of a disconnect there, and so yeah, there's nice things about having office space, but I love working
Especially
from
if you're
home.
using that mana axe, which I think you said you were.
I find myself doing like working weird hours sometimes just naturally, where I'm like, all right, I've got an idea. I'm gonna go just slip this in right now. You can't really do that if you have to go to the office.
Hey Jason, what's up?
So having to pick between the two, I definitely pick work from home.
We are doing good.
If I had to pick like one or the other.
Chilling, watching the dev stream.
They did have like a normal like office job before this one. It was nice, gorgeous office.
Rive plus healing hands. It should apply twice, yeah. I've never played that build specifically, but it should. If they're both melee skills and they're both, or I guess they don't even need to be.
Alright, next question.
They don't even need to be melee as long as they're hitting, which I think they both. They both are hits. It should work, yeah.
Hi Mike. Oh, why killing Nemesis is quicker than Exile Mage? I don't know.
You're trying to build this now?
Exile Mages do have an extra thing where they are enemies.
That's a good question. I'd be curious to try that too.
Enemies. They're not on anyone's team other than their own. So like, you'll like you can get some help from the enemies to kill an Exile Mage as well. Thank you very much, Valinov01. Welcome. Hope you're having fun.
Then just healing hand, you also got it.
I totally forgot to say this. We always stream for charity here, and we've got a new charity today. Well, we're going reverting back to a charity we had before. We had a huge run with the Trevor Project, and now we're back to Child's Play. So yeah, all the everything from stream goes to there. Which is why I'm allowed to have a banner on my stream, because you're not normally allowed to do that. But because it's a charity, it's
Does Rive give like full amount of procs to healing hands?
Exactly, all I know is because it's a charity.
It could be that there's an issue with the indirect cast not giving you full effect or something. It's like with Frostclaw, the indirect cast doesn't give you the bounces. Maybe there's something like that with healing hands.
Can we expect some visual clues for buff debuff on our pets, like which ones are under Rip Blood Infusion, for example? There should be something there. It's probably just way too subtle, especially on Necromancer. Like, so we do have some things already. I'll give you an example of one.
I just slammed T6 mana and you got T5 int. Int is still really good. Hey Gloom, what up?
Significantly bigger. And then it drops down. So like, we do put visual cues on things like that. I don't know if that one has it or not, but like, even things like bleed have visual cues. They're just something that's a little on the subtle side. So I hope it already has one. If not, it probably should. I'd still like it's right now no positive things show up down here. I'd really like there to be. That's one thing that I thought we were going to do, and I just did at one point, and then we're like, no, we're not doing that. I'm like, yeah, I'd undo it. I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the
smaller upgrades. I'm kind of not a huge fan of doing T6 slams once you're like decently far into the game. So I feel like the amount of effort it takes to actually get the slam is usually not worth putting a T6 into it. I don't know. Kind of depends.
Are there any plans to bring down clear speed of range builds or increase the speed of melee? Or it seems like loading, or if that seems loading is EHG happy with the discrepancy between the two?
What, they think range is OP?
How do I say this?
It's far more work to get P7 slam to work.
Be a distinction made by the player base in that category. Like just
yeah.
At all.
I mean, if you have like a lot of 1 LPs and very few P7s, then sure, yeah.
What do you think about a new experimental affix for belt? Instantly revive down to X companions on potion use. I think that's incredibly powerful. But if you've got a suggestion that you want us to consider, head on over to our forums or Discord, into the suggestions categories that we have laid out for suggestions. This bothers me. It's showing.
I feel like if you have way more
fix that. I know there's the fix
uniques than T7s,
like not rolled out.
There might be an issue with how you're farming or how you're rolling prophecies, though.
That bug report got submitted, so I was like, oh, I know how to fix
so
that.
You should ideally be
immediately ready.
Getting exalts at like somewhat comparable pace. Even if you're not spending any favor.
That was weird.
On exalt specifically.
Alright, different duration, is that in here? Elements cleanse. Yeah, we want cleansing. Cleansing is I think one of the most underrated abilities that are like modifiers that abilities can get in Last Epoch. And like if you're making a build, one of my biggest recommendations is try to work cleansing into it if you can somewhere. There's a belt modifier. Lots of abilities have it, especially on Primalist.
Guys, how do we get cleanse on our build as Frostblock?
I'm trying to work some more into like Sentinel. I think Sentinel has a lot of really good places, especially.
I don't know if Frostblock builds can get cleanse.
And I really want to start experimenting with like partial cleansing, which might sound weird, but like. I think there's room for some cool stuff there.
Missing exalts is due to low corruption, yeah. Even at 300 though, I'm doing alright. Isn't it in the skill tree? Yeah, it is. I'm joking. It's literally in the skill tree.
Build balance in 1.1 is still pretty bad, with many builds that do 2k corruption still. Is this because you're still trying to figure out the best way to balance right, or you're afraid the massive nerfs angering the community, or mix of both? I mean, there's always things that slip through as just stuff we didn't consider sometimes. There's also
spicy question.
Yeah, like having insane like the rhetoric around a nerf being insane or something like that is unfortunate. I think there's definitely room for some more nerfs. There's room for buffs and nerfs all over the place. There always is. Like that shouldn't be a surprise, really.
The best build in D4 is Identic. Is it a mage in D4?
The focus is
or not mage.
more on
what's the class called?
Like
sorcerer. Yeah.
Experience.
I'm guessing it's like lightning, chain lightning or whatever the thing is called. I forget. Lightning spear. Yeah.
I do love that it shows that it was a crit, how much the overkill damage was. the thing Ellie does better than all
Frozen
other
Orb
RPGs
Amulet?
is
I don't-
diversity and experimentation.
I don't think that was in the game when I played.
I'm just laughing at the follow-up from the last question. Would a challenge cosmetic reward for different achievements with different builds be on the board? For example, taking down a
New in
T10
Season 4.
Harbinger.
I only played Season 4
Void
for
Knight
like a
gets you
couple
a
days.
title, or a cosmetic versus a paladin getting a different one.
And they changed
So
it.
I
Yeah,
really like the
I'm
idea
completely
of
out of the loop on that one.
cosmetics appear like that and having achievements for things like that. I think if we did do that, we would have to add one for every single mastery.
Wait, what?
All at the exact same time. I'd prefer probably to start without having mastery specific ones and then work in mastery specific stuff after the fact. Like, so like, oh, we've already got a half dozen of those types of things, and then like then start getting more specific in like once we've got some under our belt.
Challenge rewards would be cool
Yeah, I
though.
always love
Cosmetics and stuff. Like PoE does.
I really like there's a lot of achievements in like Civ, for example, that are so specific, and that's most of the time they happen accidentally, and I love that feeling of like you're just playing along and something in the achievement pops up and you're like, what did I do? It's this like really obscure thing like get Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo and Donatello and Raph in the same city as like an artwork from all in the same city or something like that with the sewers. That's what it is. Yeah, with the sewers built in the same city. And like you know silly things like that that you don't even gotta be more aggressive with my healing. You don't even consider as like an expected thing to happen. Huh, I like it. Can you die so our bingo card at ARPG can be filled out? No problem. I'm on it. I think that question was asked a while ago. All right. Any chance of solo or corruption ladder in 1.2?
Corruption ladder, let's go. It's so pointless though right now.
Maybe.
With the XP changes.
There's some. Well, there's a little bit of shakeup that needs to happen there. I'd really like to get more ladders in. That's something that I think should be a little bit higher priority for us in general. Just 'cause I think they're really positive for like just fun.
Hardcore corruption ladder. Let's go.
Wow, this is like taking a lot of focus to not die because I'm so trash right now. Okay. Since you're playing a Primalist, any idea when the cold swing of Tempest Strike will be fixed? It currently always counts as a spell and therefore never generates mana even if the Tempest is disabled. I have no idea. Sorry. If you haven't already, drop bug report using the Endgame bug reporting tool. I'm kind of working on some other stuff right now. Whoa. Oh my goodness.
Rip Mike
Just gonna
again.
the Sentinel.
Sad.
Dying way too much. Yeah, you know what? This is like the 8th death in a row. what we're gonna do. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get to the next zone, and I'm gonna go to my stash and pick out some stuff. You know, I've got some better gear in there now. Marksman, what up with that? Tons of fun. Love it. Hi, Mike. Are there any plans on getting a black hole up to speed with the other mage spells? Black hole's an interesting one. Black hole is kind of waiting on some stuff before it really does what it needs to do.
Okay. Physics update. Hype.
I kind of regret releasing Black Hole when we did. It's a fun skill, and I love having it. But I kind of wish
Pixel
we
pool?
had a little bit more foresight. And waited.
Is Mike talking about a pixel pool?
Get to the next checkpoint. My goodness, where is it? But there's definitely some. I was just working on something for it yesterday, actually. Will not be in the next patch at all. And nothing I'm working on right now is going to be in the next patch. Okay, do we have anything that we can use? Hammer might just be the way to go, right?
When Mike says next patch, does he mean the next major patch, like release? Or literally like patch version? Like minor version.
That's hilarious. Well, hilarious might not be the right word, but it's a thing. Oh my god!
Wait, has Mike been using the veteran boots this whole time? No way.
Oh, I completely forgot I was leveling this character with veteran's boots. I was sitting here the whole stream freaking out why I was being so trash. Oh,
What a
that
chat.
makes me feel so much better. Okay, we're not gonna do that because it's boring to watch. Oh, well done, Mike. Well done. Here's the other ones. Oh, that makes me feel better. Not even gonna bother checking the other slots. It's just such a gigantic upgrade. Congratulations! Thank you very much for the 7 months. Appreciate you. Glad to have you here. Oh, okay. Now I just need to not get like crazy cocky and die anyways. Just carving through them like butter now. Oh my god. Dude, that's genuinely, yeah. Those are bad. Whatever. Oh wow, that opens up in a terrible spot.
I feel like a veteran hardcore run would be pretty interesting. Be quite difficult. Hey Dan, what's up? How's it going? We are just watching the dev stream. Just chilling.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful.
We're watching Mike forgetting that he had the veteran boots on.
But if I had realized that's what was happening, I would have been so much more careful while doing it. And I bet this character was deathless before that too, because I was leveling them. I was leveling a few of them deathless. It's just been a while. All right.
Feels bad.
Archery is clearly not popular at the moment. Any plans to improve that? We don't really look.
Where do you even get the veteran boots anyway?
Necessarily as a direct measure of
Never
what
actually
needs
used
to
them.
happen with a power level perspective. Like sometimes the popularity is due to just like an unfun play pattern. I don't know if that's what's happening right now or not. But I think archery also is one of those things where it's really susceptible to very dramatic swings from very few changes in popularity because there's so few abilities that can utilize it. There's 1.5 masteries that can even do it. And so and one of them has a very popular build.
The beginning of the game before the first sound.
At all, you know, like in
a wall you gotta knock down? I'd never noticed that.
So it's much more susceptible to.
I figured it was in a chest because I think it is a personal item, right?
I think, because like you look at, and I don't think that means it
Never
is,
found that though.
Inherently more or less deserving of buffs or not, but just I think it's important to keep that in mind when looking at it in perspective with other playstyles. So like the, I don't know.
Sounds like that could be a fun
Sentinel
challenge.
melee is bad, and no one's playing Sentinel melee. Melee as an archetype doesn't disappear because there's 4 other classes that can do melee, you know?
Hardcore veteran boots 200. Ah, maybe.
The power level difference.
Maybe
is
though.
insane. Those boots are so hard.
I had 2 LP confluence. That's so good.
Those boots are really hard.
I'd be pretty happy to have
Don't know
that.
you're wearing them.
I still only have sad egged confluence.
There's a little like icon that shows up, a little skull. Alright, hope you're having a great Friday so far. I am having a really great Friday so far. Yeah. I have a couple questions, not to beat a dead horse, but any updates on an EHG/LE nerd store? Please keep asking this question. I know it sounds ridiculous, but oh my god, please keep asking this question, because I want it so bad. Every time I see my mom, she asks me, like, I have a couple friends that keep asking me too. It's just
Yeah, true. If you missed the
I don't have
slam,
any info yet.
then you're
Sorry,
sad.
I'd really love to have more info.
Where the
Secondly,
first
without
bear in the
spoilers,
cave is?
obviously,
Oh, okay, I
what
think I know
story
what.
thread are you most excited to see
think I know what you're
continued
talking
or
about.
completed in upcoming cycles? I'm always excited to see what happens to Minimus.
Both here. That's pretty sad.
And for the record, I have no idea what's gonna happen. if there's anything more to happen. That's my character that I follow.
You 50% brick the item?
Oh, bad. How are you? Master Sword 1291, how are you doing?
You have a 1 LP with 140 mana.
EHG, we're doing pretty good. Yeah.
Are you talking about a
I
Ryan
thought it was a
sign?
perfect gift you can give me for my 40-month anniversary. Oh, alright. Please fix Sentinel DR. A 200% increase to Ironclad DR wouldn't break.
Oh, you mean on the
and
slam.
begin to balance Sentinel with capabilities of other classes, please and thank you.
You slammed
There's
2/7
a lot
mana.
happening with Sentinel right now. There's quite a lot happening with Sentinel right now because there's some big changes to some really key. There's some really big changes to a really key Sentinel skill that's causing ripples throughout the whole thing right now.
It's talking about volatile reversal.
I don't know when that's gonna be done because it's a pretty big change.
Yeah, it sounds like volatile reversal.
But it affects every Sentinel, I think, pretty well. Not everyone, but like it affects like Paladins, Void Knights, and Force Knights. Oh, and I totally.
2 LP is not that bad to farm though, they're fairly common.
40-month free sub that I missed half an hour ago. My goodness, that was right at the start. Whew. That is. Are you the first 40?
40 months. That's a long time. You had a 2 LP unstable with mid-high roll.
Are you the first 40?
I don't think I would slam a T6 and T6 mana, to be
That's a
honest.
milestone
I'm
achievement
pretty
right
sure
there.
the T7 roll is a lot better.
I think you're the first 40. Wow. Well, thank you so much.
But yeah, that is
Wild.
unfortunate. Only getting the mana is really rough.
Maybe I can. Maybe we can plan.
Trophies are very rare.
Some 50s. That seems like a lot. 50 is what, 4 years?
Feels like. Yeah, the chest lagging is frustrating. I hope they fix that soon. It's a very bad experience.
Doing this a while, haven't we?
It seems like it got better when I restarted my game yesterday, though, so maybe that'll help. You
little stream,
restart your game.
We're also going to be. I'm working with some people to just to get some more variance in the streams, because I think there's room for a lot of people to come on and do stuff, and I really want to get some more of that.
That was the case with my Orion's I2. Our first good roll we hit the crit multi.
So if there's a department you'd really like to see, put that in the suggestions box. Oh, I'm looking at these. Alright. You worried that the current code base...
What would I put on Trophy 4 mana and like
relevant new content for a 3 to 4 month release cycle?
Inted mana, probably.
No. I think there's... I mean, I think we're still kind of growing as a team for how fast we can crank out high quality stuff. So we're improving on that.
Probably T7 and T5 mana, because I think in general that's going to be better.
Are we getting a new dungeon for the Primal Legendary? No, and there'll be some more info to come on that. The roadmap might be a little out of date.
Or do you mean Core of the Mountain? Assume you mean Unstable Core.
Alright, next one.
Tried to mainly get in. Yeah, I think Int is generally the best stat.
Run! Is there anything on the pipeline similar to Rune of Refining or Rune of Shaping for legendary side?
So even if you don't have mana on all your pieces that can get it, you probably are still going to have at least 1,000.
Sort of rule. It's unclear if we're gonna break that rule or not at any point. Not for this patch though.
You're leveling Mage in online hardcore. Glacier is good, but you hate it.
Close to dying there.
Yeah, I think Glacier is much worse than Frostclaw.
They're all special to me.
Once you get the Spark Charge node, at least. Before that, I don't know. Frostclaw might actually still be better. I haven't tried it.
This is nowhere near as good as it seems.
The damage scaling is definitely significantly higher on Frostclaw. Even without the Spark Charge, I think Frostclaw might do a lot more damage, yeah.
What should we get there one? Raptor. How's we doing, Raptor gang? I know it's like you're supposed to level. You can level wolves at first, because if you're doing like a whole bunch of them with wolves, then you're gonna switch to a whole bunch of them with Raptor and you get to 65. But I'm gonna do Giant Raptor till 65. Do you think just kill stat?
Red Ring isn't really the reason that you get Int as priority. It's because Int is generally a good stat for every mage build, for the most part. For Red Ring, you only need 180 attributes, which, even without Int on everything, you should be able to get. So Red Ring itself gives up to +5 all attributes, so that would be 25. So 2 Red Rings, you'll be already at 50.
In Beastmaster yet, are there?
And then you get probably another 20 or 30 in the tree, maybe. 20 anyway.
Ooh.
Maybe more.
Make sure we snag that.
And then on the gear, if you just have a few slams, you get, this is 33 gear.
There's always little things that I'm like, I wonder if this has been done yet. So did the waypoint, yeah, the waypoint is updated.
And then there's some more gear for free on this piece. And if you're using these rings, there's even more. Getting 180 is not hard.
Come on, get your kills in. Take your vitamin kills. Alright.
Question about the guide,
with
yeah?
all the AI hype going on, do you use any of it in your game? I don't think we use it for anything. I know we don't use it for anything that actually makes it into the game. I don't think we use it for like anything really. I mean, you could kind of
GitHub Copilot probably.
Like it's such a blurry line. So there's lots of code, like just editor programs for code.
Yeah, he's talking about GitHub Copilot.
Just type code in. They'll like try and autocomplete. You know how you're typing like an email on Gmail, it'll like try and autocomplete the sentence you're trying to type. Code editors have done that for a long time, and it does that more and more lately. So like, I guess a little bit there in a sense, but it just like tries to finish the line you're typing on. Like it doesn't suggest new things.
If they're working with Microsoft,
really
they're doing C# Unity. It might have its own version.
So I don't think that really counts. It's not using like Copilot or anything like that.
Yeah, it might be Microsoft's own. What is it, Gemini? I don't know.
There's a lot of I think a lot of the I think a lot of the stuff is in limbo.
I answer that question in the guide.
Message here. I think a lot of the like legalities around using.
I think I have a section on the video that goes into why I take it.
Around using AI for things in published works is a little in limbo, and I don't know if it's out of just caution or something, but I think we just steer clear of it completely from. Probably for a various like a set of reasons like. Oh, I gotta change the auto message for Nightbot. I think there's just like there's two angles of like wanting to use human generated things and then also wanting to just not.
I'm talking about the most recent guide I did, by the way.
So I think that's why we just kind of
the static core build. I talk about the ring.
Let's see if I can fix our Nightbot stuff. Child's Play Day, right? Please stand with us. Please stay on the line. Your call is important to us and the answer in order it was received. I don't know if that is going to update the message that goes out frequently. Let me know if that fixed it. Where it is.
What I really want is the loop filter ping
in the messages
to not make a sound for items that aren't shown.
State that you'll add
That's
a
my
lot
wish
of
list
in-game
item.
content. However, will it be really something hard and challenging, or again something equal to 300 corruption still in favor of the average player? I think the key stuff we were looking to add into the endgame right now is improving the entire process of the endgame. So like improving the Monolith experience, improving the like activities that are available as you're playing the game. That applies to every stage of the campaign and endgame and like late endgame. You know, like there's just so much room for improvements in this category. So it's something we've talked about a lot. So like I think Nemesis was the most successful part of 1.1, largely because it impacts everyone throughout the entirety of the game. You know, like it's a cool mechanic that's happening all the time. I think the biggest biggest criticism I've seen from it has been from bugs, and from, well, like specifically one bug, which is part of the reason why I was telling everyone to get cleansing in their builds, and that it's not in every zone. So I know like the next thing that I'm like, we're working on more things to go in that similar category of Nemesis, and there's one that I'm going to be pitching next week actually. And part of the thing in the pitch, anyways, the one I'm pitching is it's in every zone, because that's what I heard from all you that you wanted to see. Yeah, that fast revive time. I know this build's gonna end up with like 4 sources of cleansing.
If Healing Hands is a spell, you get the Ignite when you use
Disconnection
Drive. When
protection
it's
being
melee,
thought
you
about.
don't.
Make character immune when the server disconnects, detects a DC.
They should both count as hits. That's really strange. Unless it's like Ignite on spell hit you
I
have.
know that having
Not sure if that's a thing.
Yes.
Unless the
that's
spell is a
something we
DOT
want.
and
There
not
is,
actually a hit.
or want to work better, because it already does.
That doesn't make sense.
There already is something in place for that, but
Anything
it's
interesting
not,
from Mike so far?
I guess, ubiquitous enough that it works
nothing
properly
like
in every
groundbreaking,
situation,
no.
and sometimes people still die from it.
I think he was hinting at a volatile reversal rework.
Because having alt
Feels like a
F4
bug. It might be a
the
bug.
best defense is, I think, really unhealthy for the game. And like that's something that I really wouldn't like to have. Is like just, oh, you're about to die. Press a button that disconnects you from the internet. You know, like, that's not great.
Good old logo macro. Reminds me of the early days of PoE. Everybody was doing that.
Hope the team's doing great. We are. We're too easy to jump in the cycle. I'm hoping to do the next one. Cool. Since you're getting close to 1.2, can you give us a small hint about the set gear changes? There's no major set gear changes. Like, I'm assuming you're talking about like set items, like green items. We have not implemented the. I know we've been teasing a large change to set items at some point. It's not coming in 1.2.
Yeah, Mike has a really chill vibe.
At least not coming in the next major patch. I'm gonna help Aaron's community
That's
with
true.
bingo. No, that's cheating.
I do strive to have a Mike vibe someday.
I just beat you to it anyways.
Be as chill as Mike.
Aaron, tell me what to do. I'm following your build here. Not actually. I just I did read I watched your video for the Raptor build like 2 months ago, and I couldn't find the quick link to the plan before starting today. So this is my butchered version of my 2 month ago remembrance of that build. Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna help Mia. Have you considered making sets being build creators that are useless for other builds, like creating archetypes like Ranger, where you have companions and a bow?
Where was the
Maybe
set item in
a completely new skill, and when
in the
is
roadmap?
set revamp coming anyways? Set revamp's not gonna be for a while. That idea of having items grant skills though is something that I'm really interested in doing, and something that I think we can do. So, you joke, but all right.
We have the technology.
And there's where I realized I was wearing the boots.
It's great for rerolling characters. Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot
hey
quicker.
Mike, how would you feel about vanity levels after level 100? No extra power, just the way to show how much you've played a character. I like the idea. I like it. I think it's cool. I think there's a little bit of a danger in incentivizing playing that much.
There's no incentive. It's vanity.
I think it's cool.
What do you mean?
Alright, first of all, thank you so much for the game. You're welcome. Glad you're having fun with it. That's the best part. Will there be more story in the future? Yeah. We're still working on more story. This scene you're seeing now in the Ancient Era is very underutilized. So the next major story content that comes out will eventually hit a lot of Ancient Era tropes, I think. But that'll be a bit still.
You got all your set listings already? Nice, yeah. Especially if you have your
let me rephrase my question then. Isn't fun
whatever night
any plans to
faction
do this gameplay?
maxed out.
We're always looking.
Or do you mean you just swap them in with the mid-roll?
We're always looking to increase the fun of every build archetype. Like what's not fun about it for you? Is it that it doesn't do enough damage? Is it that like you don't like the optimal play pattern that is for it now, and it would be better if because you can, I feel like you can make any play pattern you want that is like archery themed. It just might not be the strongest way, and so doing it the strongest way might not be a fun pattern for you or something like that. But or is it just the actual overall the way archery plays? Even if you're in like a take level 100 character into level 50 zone and like the way that the skills work together, you don't find fun. Because marksman's still my favorite class to play. So there's something different that we're each enjoying about it or not. Or the
Marksman buffs. Marksman buffs when?
Alright. What do you think about putting a corruption of each monolith right on the map so you can see them all at once without having to go into each of them to check? There was some reason why we couldn't do this.
Yeah, please do that.
Was there some reason why we couldn't do this, or it was just something that we should do? I can't remember. Like, it's definitely a good idea.
Honestly though, like why does it need to say 100 here? They're all level 100. Like of course, right?
I feel like I brought this up recently.
Like this could easily be, I mean maybe not easy, but it should be the corruption. Just put it in like purple, right?
I love this flask. It's the only reason I'm doing this, because the rest
you
of
have
it
like
is garbage.
The 100 with no corruption, then it turns purple if you're like above 100, right? Be nice. Maybe technical limitation.
Just walk with a bunch of stuff. Did walk with a bunch of stuff. By the numbers, what is the least played class build you can think of? I'm looking for alt ideas. I don't know. I really avoid numbers like that. If I was gonna guess, I would say it's probably
Portrait?
Actually not. It's
well, maybe not in hardcore.
It's not Acolyte. I'll tell you that right away. It's definitely not Acolyte. It's probably Finalist. It's probably either Beastmaster or Shaman right now.
Really?
Yes.
I thought a lot of people are playing Shaman. They're Earthquake and
Might be like Spellblade.
Avalanche.
I'm just trying to think of like what's had the least amount of work on it recently.
Shaman's had a lot of work.
But that, we're gonna come down her. With into that. Will the roadmap be updated soon? Also set items rework when? Set items rework not soon, sorry. Roadmap will be updating, I don't know when, but hopefully soon. It needs an update. Oh no, run!
New roadmap, cool. We like that.
Next question. Since EHG was founded in the DFW area, any chances of running an EHG charity 5K walk event in Dallas? Woof. Maybe? I don't think we've ever talked about doing something like that.
Gamers
cool
doing
idea,
walking? I don't know. Gamers don't do walk.
Yeah, we do have more people in that area than anywhere else, but there's still a teeny, like less than 1%, more than 1%, not much more than 1% of the staff is in that area.
Wait, what percent did you say? Less than 1? Did I hear that?
And by that area, I mean all of Texas. There we go.
Not much more than 1? Oh.
The
That's
pack build was
really
fun.
surprising to me.
That allow other pack build types, Scorpion Bear, Tiger Pack.
I didn't figure it would be
Cool and fun.
that low.
I'm less inclined to add too many more of these. Just because it kind of homogenizes all of the different minion types that you can have. And I'd like to see there be some uniqueness in there still. But it's possible we could add more of those things. Bear and Sabretooth especially need some life breathed into them. They need something to say like, hey, this is why I'm interesting and unique and cool. Because right now they're just kind of bland.
Maybe a dumb question. Does this game have a pet bear? Can you get a bear minion? I've played Primalist, but I honestly don't remember.
Oh, I see Nightbot shop. Yeah, perfect. Thank you for trying to check.
I also never played Minion, so... No one asked what they're doing with static.
Sound design within LE. I mean,
I can tell you what they're doing. They're
every
nerfing
patch
it.
comes with updates to sound.
There's no way Static Orb
yeah.
survives.
I don't think there's anything revolutionary on the horizon.
I just hope they don't gut the damage of Static Orb, because that's the only thing it has going for it.
Howdy, Mike. Howdy,
It's a terrible clear skill.
Hope you're well, sir. I am doing pretty good right now, actually. Is it possible to see the area effect of skills? With like a white line when we hover over them to see how big the area really is. For example, Bastion of Honor shows you a white line in a circle. I only ask because it's hard to judge where and what erasing strike is well erasing.
I like this question. That's a nice question.
Yeah, so you're thinking like if you mouse over this, or if you mouse over this, it would like show like a little circle.
AoE indicators would be so nice.
Sort of thing. That's a cool idea. I think what might be. It's tricky to do.
Yeah, there's so many variables that go into AoE as well.
More obvious, like this is how big something is, and a more explicit description of how big something is. Like, okay, this affects instead of saying nearby enemies, it'll be like nearby enemies, and maybe hold all. It's like within 1.2 meters, which is not. It's like 6 meters or something, but still. Yeah, it's about 6. I do not remember where I'm going with this. Doing that though, I think.
Still alive, let's go. What's up, too? How's it going?
Any LE Gamescom presence this year.
We are still on it.
There's a tiny contingency there.
Still no red rings though.
I'm gonna guess and say there's 2 people there.
How much favor do you get in each run?
One. We definitely didn't do the.
Let me tell you in a second.
We went big last year. We're not going quite that big this year.
We're at 351, 870. Keep that in your mind.
Or just any convention. It's been a while since it's been a year since I've been at a convention. I'm kind of itching for it again. I think
351.
That was Gamescom was like I was really.
It depends heavily on the monsters in the map as well. This is a pretty bad one.
I know every time I talk about it, I'm like a giddy schoolgirl, but you know what?
There's no rares. That's reset. It's a really bad one. We're at 352. This one has some bad rares.
Nice. Could it be possible for other classes than rogues to use bows in the future? Yeah. Yeah. I really think that, you know, Beastmaster getting a bow option is important at this point. I think there's a lot of good arguments for even having
isn't there a mage bow build
like you
with like the ice bow?
In like a military setting, in the medieval military setting, having like
I'm remembering that right.
Bow wielding. That's like
almost level 101
that's
now.
very appropriate as well. And once you get to 3, like I think it might as well just be everyone. Mage and Acolyte definitely don't make as much sense, and I can't see there being much support for it there. One of the tricky parts is getting abilities to be compatible with it. So like all of the 3 main rogue abilities that are
we were at 352.
Were all designed from day
2,
one as
and now we're at
melee or ranged
356. 9.
And that has a big impact on.
So almost 5,000 favor for that run. I think it's probably less than a minute.
We need boar.
Is that right? No, it couldn't have been that fast. Probably a bit over a minute. So we should be somewhere around, I don't know, 200 and something thousand favor.
Do you think in the future
maybe high 100s
and echo this way
per hour?
We could just kind of juice our own monos. Lenses. Yeah. I think we've got some other stuff planned for similar style of things that we're working on right now for a future update. That'll be a lot of fun. But not specifically like that. Little bit. We're gonna put on a twist on it.
Most of the XP seems to come from the beacon though. It's almost 2,000 XP for like 10 seconds.
Intro into the stream. A 1 hour intro. 1 hour into the stream. Yeah. I'm only 4 minutes behind. Really? Wonderful.
If you're at 1,000, it would be higher. Yeah, it would be higher. There's a lot of diminishing returns after 300 though.
Handicapped and not knowing it.
It wouldn't be that much higher. Instead of 4.6 that I just got, it probably would have been like maybe 5.4. It's probably like I don't know, 20% more, something like that.
That's hurt. Now they've got better leech. I just gotta keep attacking.
Thoughts on next cycle class starter? I honestly can't answer that question yet. We have no information at all about next cycle.
With a huge amount of uniques that drop in the game, can we get an option to shatter them to get some special resource we can use on something else creative? Thank you.
Why do me and Perry stream at the same hour?
Very
probably because we live in similar time zones.
There's different variants on it.
Yes.
Maybe is kind of always, the answer is always maybe, and A big
I've been
part of it
checking
is
these vendors for
how,
results lately.
how we
Like, get some good stuff.
Take care.
it's tricky to incentivize picking up every single unique in the very late game. So like you're going through the campaign, you're picking up every single unique. You're going through the early end game,
Please
you're picking up
don't.
every single unique, and that's fine.
Please
'Cause
don't
there's not that many
incentivize
dropping.
us.
As soon as uniques have an intrinsic resource that can be utilized for like any build, no matter how bad the unique is, like you pick it up and it's one step towards ultimate item 7. It is
Welcome back.
it creates a burden of picking up every single unique. And sometimes you can get to situations where there's 20, 30 uniques on the ground and you don't have room in your inventory for 20 or 30 uniques. And that's kind of a situation we want to avoid a little bit. So we have...
Just let us salvage uniques to get,
kinda
like, magic juice or something.
cautioned away from that.
If that's what you want.
Like having a solid, like, reason to pick
Magic
every single
unique
unique.
juice.
It's kind of the same reason is one of the contributing reasons to why we haven't put in put 10 0 LP uniques in and get a 1 LP unique out, and put 100 1 LP uniques in and get a 2 unique out, 2 LP unique out, and put 500 2 LP uniques in, we haven't put that in for a similar reason. That's one of the contributing reasons.
Yeah, the ring's really good.
Just put all of them.
It's a really good ring.
And at the same time,
Probably not worth it on
it
hardcore.
does feel kind of bad to leave some uniques on the ground. You walk away from a unique and it's this big shining beam and you're like, it'd be nice to have something I could do with that.
Sacrifice uniques for
so
favor.
at the same time, I think there's room for some sort of system that has...
I don't know. I
like,
think instead of sacrificing
a
uniques for
sliding
favor, they could
scale
just
of
reduce favor
usefulness
costs.
as you get further
It'd
into the
basically be
game
the same thing,
for,
except without you
for
picking up uniques
So,
all the
like,
time.
I guess
I think everything that you can achieve by
maybe,
picking up items you don't want,
like
you can
really
achieve
rare uniques
by
having more use,
not picking up the items.
really common uniques being less useful in some sort of breakdown system as you get later into the game would probably need to be
Like,
part of the system.
Instead of
I guess
uniques selling for a
sort
lot of
like,
gold, you can just make monsters drop
the
more
obvious
gold,
thing that I can talk about
and then
now
you don't need to
is
pick them up and
Diablo
take
2.
them to the
You
vendor.
drop an L rune at the start
You end up with
of
the same
Diablo 2,
result,
you
but a
pick it up,
better player
you know,
experience.
combine 3 of those, you get an Eld rune. And it doesn't matter how high you combine those.
Prophecies to farm it? No, you can't. You can't get it out of a prophecy.
At a certain point, as you get through to the end, you get into the end game, and you're like level 95, and you're not picking up L runes anymore. No one cares about them, even though they are technically 1/1000th of a burr rune or whatever.
Yeah, LP system is great.
So I think there's a lot of there's probably some room for a system along those same lines where uniques are useful to pick up, even if you're not going to use them for some other purpose, but still having the lower level ones not be valuable enough to bother picking up and do the thing with, because you might as well just keep running and find a new one that's better. And it's a little bit with a similar thing with the sliding scale of what legendary potential was designed to be as well, to make these low level uniques viable in the end game. It's kind of a similar, it's kind of the other side of that same coin.
Yeah, pretty much.
There was an idea that came up a few months ago that was around basically Grail Quest and having that be a functional thing for upgrading in some way, where you can, like, a Grail Quest is like finding every unique item in the game.
0 LP uniques are not inherently more valuable than 1
Every
LP
unique
though.
item only applies once, sort of thing. I think that'd be fun.
It depends
I
heavily
don't think
on
we'll really be able to have too
whether or not you
much,
already have a good 1 LP and how rare it is.
on mechanics without us making some changes to how we do I guess later game,
Like a 1 LP red ring is infinitely better than a 0 LP red ring.
like unique
Like
target farm.
you'd never want a
Just
0
because
LP
you'd end up-
red
you could
ring
really easily,
over a 1.
and it would also have to be a system that had diminishing returns on it, because as you collect more of them, it becomes harder to find the ones you're missing. And so we need to have better ways to target farm specific uniques for a system like that, and we'd have to have diminishing returns on it, so it wouldn't be less punishing where you're like, I've got one left to go, I found 400 of these, you know, that sort of thing. It just feels bad. That's makes for a great.
It's true for middle tier.
You know? We do want to get down there actually.
Uh,
I should grab that because I want that. I want my leech. I want my leech.
I don't think whether or not it's true depends on the item. It depends on what you already have. If you already have a perfect 1 LP,
Please have an option to
or boot, or red ring, or anything,
oh my gosh, please.
if you already have the perfect 1 LP, then 1 LPs are worthless. And in that case, to you as the player, a 0 LP represents a chance to get something better.
I mean,
Whereas with a 1 LP, it's
the silly
there's
way
no
to do it is
chance
to
because it's already
put,
rolled, right?
MTX in the game that is just like a nothing helmet.
Like for me, that like I already have a good unstable core with 1 LP.
Just make it free for everyone.
For me, I have no interest in 1 LP unstable core anymore.
I'm in here
And
now.
even though a 0 is trash, so it has almost no chance of getting 2, it's still better than 0, or
it's kind
better
of
than
close
1
to nothing you're gonna get.
in that case.
I don't know if that fits, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, I can.
Here.
It depends more on the player though, right? Like what unique is considered middle tier depends on the player. Like for me, I can realistically farm a 1 LP red ring, but for most people that's not the case.
What
Way
do you think
too
about
much.
removing move speed as an affix off boots, since it's pretty much instant take for any build, any base move speed like 0.25?
For a lot of
or
people, a
something
1
to
LP
make up for it?
prismatic with 4% crit is probably unrealistic.
I don't think it is auto
So in that case, a 1 LP
on
is better.
everything. I mean, most things do, yes. But I don't know. I think it feels really good to get that, those pair of boots that, you know, like you put them on, you're like, oh, moving this slow, and you find that pair of boots, and you're like, yeah, moving faster, and that's not actually that big of a difference, but you know what I mean. When you do find those big move speed boots. Speaking of which, I need to find some big move speed boots. I think having
love move
those,
speed boots.
I think
Our
we
perspective
want
is
the exact
skewed.
opposite of what you're suggesting here, actually.
I don't know if our
having those
perspective is
jumps,
skewed. I
especially
think
on
it's
things
just
like
all
movement speed,
relative to
I think
who's
this is
asking
like
the
a poster
question.
child for this argument, actually.
I mean,
and
your
having it be in
your
bigger
points are
jumps
valid,
is-
but they just
it
apply to you.
feels more impactful and it
Specifically.
feels more significant when you know it goes from like 1 to 10. You can really get that. You can feel that impact a lot better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's pretty much it. 0 OP always has a value. It has a potential. A 0 OP is kind of like a lottery ticket, right? And I think a lot of people like the idea of a lottery ticket, even if your chances are terrible.
Upgrade. I feel like, why am I doing this? But you know, that's why apparently.
People also just really like the gamble, whether or not it's even good. Like, think about it this way. Like, would you rather have, we'll say, $1 million? Would you rather have $1 million or a 1 in 100 chance
We
for
gotta
$100
cancel
million?
changes at some point soon here.
I mean, the average outcome is the same. Like, on average, you're gonna get $1 million, but the guaranteed is significantly
Circle of
better.
Fortune allows a certain level of target farming. Have you considered, I suppose you did, allowing to target farm specific affixes? Yes, we considered it. There's, and you can influence the affixes, and so you can. It is a tricky thing because I think sometimes there's a divide between like what target farming means, and I think target farming to me
As long as you already
just
have.
increasing the chance that you're gonna get the thing you want.
It's kind of pointless though. Like
And I
that's
think
just
to some people it means something a little different. I think some people it means like deterministic loot.
the gamble is pointless though. Like your expected outcome
Which I
is
think
the
a
same.
little bit different. I think target farming is like, hey, I'm gonna do what I can
If
to increase
the
my chance
expected
getting
outcome
this
of the
thing that I
gamble
want
was better,
so that I find it faster.
like say instead of 1 in 100 it was 1 in
You
90,
do already have that
then I would agree with you.
for specific affixes. You got to say like a category of affixes, but like if you want to increase your chances of finding any.
Because then your average outcome would be better.
And I think there's room for new systems that do that a little bit stronger.
I mean, if it was me and I could choose
Definitely
between a
not
guaranteed $1 million
so far out that it'd be
or
responsible to choose it this far out.
we'll say 1 in 90 for 100 million, the $1 million would be an easy choice. Like even though the average outcome is worse, I would take it.
We don't get one of those every day.
Just because there's a huge diminishing return beyond that first amount, like the marginal utility of the following 99 million is nowhere near as high as the first.
I swear. Alright. Rune words. Enigma? Low level PvP? Please no Mosaic though. I like Mosaic, it's fun.
Between Ladle and Wrongwork, what does more damage?
Low level dueling.
It depends on your stats.
Low level dueling. Oh my goodness. I think low level dueling.
Ladle
is,
gives you more
if I
damage,
feel
Wrongwork
like
gives you
of
increased
PvP in
damage,
general,
but a lot of it. So it depends.
No, my favorite part of PvP in D2 was
Ladle also gives cast speed,
playing a PvP character,
which
in
may or may not be
random,
helpful.
like farming groups, and have people show up and try and grief you and be like, well, I'm good for PvP, let's go, buddy. That's my favorite part of that. But you know that was much more related to like the general aesthetic of D2 and its PvP system, and you know like it's very it's more like it's almost like the game world is trying to corrupt you as a player, and that's very thematic and appropriate and awesome.
Almost at 400 already. Pretty good farm.
Hot take on one of my, if not my favorite game of all time. I think Enigma was a terrible mistake. I know it's ridiculous. I think it is too good.
Wait, what is he talking about? Is he talking about Fragment of the Enigma?
I think it is one of the most fun things to get. You know, like it is truly awesome. It's just so good, and I think they've done a lot of really good stuff at and a lot of the community mods do a lot of really good stuff to improve it as well by
No,
just
I don't
giving
think it is.
other options. And I think that if there had been a longer like active development after Enigma was added, they eventually would have got to the same space, I think. Alright, how about a dungeon where you can dump all uniques that you don't want, and it crafts a dungeon-specific unique? I mean, yeah, so that it kind of has a similar issue of, like, bring all your uniques together, and, like, you're still picking up every unique. Hey, freeze rate multiplier in there! And mana. That's actually pretty thematically appropriate, and, you know, useful for that, but, oof. These other ones. Don't forget to add me to the questions. Yeah, put Ask Epoch Game in the questions, please. Have you guys done much discussion internally? So much. I'll read the rest of the question. Sorry. On what ability to give Lich? Yeah, we have. I think we've got a pretty solid idea. It's not finalized. It's not like built yet and past initial testing stuff, like initial like fun check yet. But it is. I think we know what the skill's roughly going to be. Assuming that it ends up being fun. But yeah, I think we have a good idea on what the next Lich ability is going to be. I'm pretty confident. I'd very much like to see something that helps enable hybrid minion builds more, utilizing Funnel Shade, Harvest, Golem, and Zombies, perhaps an alternative to Reperform. I don't think there'll be an alternative to Reperform.
I like that. The Funge.
I think Reperform is going to remain at least for a little while as the only Acolyte transform ability. I will say that I have seen what I thought were very promising pitches for more Acolyte transform abilities. I just don't think that's going to be the next one.
That's the technical term, fun check.
The one I really want to see is like. I really want to see some sort of. I don't know how we could do this right now. We don't have a way of doing it yet. But like some sort of hybrid minion transform ability, like where you climb inside of it, like mech suit style.
A bear suit?
I don't know how we can do it. I don't know. Like we don't have a way to do it right now. If we ever come up with a good way to do it, that's all we pushing for hard.
Kind of like in Mario when you get the cape, you turn into like a raccoon.
A temporary, like it's only got so much gas in the tank, and you gotta. Oh, it's not actually gas, but it's only got so much gas in the tank, so you hop in and it's. Oh, I thought it was gonna make a sweet jump.
Lead designer. Is that his title?
Level up. Average shards. We'll take them. Ooh, it's a full inventory. We do not need this.
I thought he was more on the dev side of things.
Give me some more leech. I love a little bit of leech.
It's the 60 maximum. I need to test that actually. I completely forgot, but I was wanting to test that.
And mages and nemesis to spawn in all zones for the cycle where they were introduced.
Yeah, I should test this.
Are there plans to have a way to increase chances of old mechanics to spawn? I don't think we have plans to have ways to let you manipulate.
Yeah, I'll test it after this. I'm actually really curious myself. I think it's just a UI bug, but we can science it.
Not next patch. But I think that I think we are interested in having ways to adjust. I'm like remembering things we were just talking about yesterday. Yes, I think there's having ways to once we have more mechanics, having ways to say like, hey, I really want more of this one. Hey, I really want more of this one. I think would be useful.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
Yes, we are planning more mechanics like Nemesis and Mages.
UI kind of has that with like their Forgotten Master or whatever.
Some of them will, so I think the Nemesis is a little bit high scope. Both like individual player interactions, so like every time you find one of them, like there's that menu that opens up things you have to do with it, and then the amount of power that it generates as well. All those things.
It'd be nice if you could save your eggs. Like I don't have anything to egg right now. Let me
if we were going
save
to
it.
have Nemesis in every single zone, we'd probably tone it down a little bit. Maybe like
Trading 18 in
less item slot. Maybe you couldn't
for the
have
chest,
the
probably
egg
not.
would disappear type thing. You know, things like that, where it was just like a little
It's too
bit
much empty
streamlined,
give up.
a little bit less decision making. Would probably be what needed to happen to make it be an every zone type mechanic. A lot of it comes down to testing though. Oh my god, it came to life. No one could have seen that coming. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, we are looking at more mechanics in that category.
Alright,
There's-
let's
there's
test
one we
this
just-
random
we
spike
just-
damage ward.
Slipped in. That's very low scope. Tons of fun.
Yes, we have 165
and
here.
then there's pitches for more of those that we're doing next week.
It's kind of awkward to test.
And the one I'm pitching is every single zone already. So yeah, like this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier in the stream. I think the biggest criticism we had from the Nemesis system was that it wasn't in every zone, and people wanted it in every zone. I think instead of changing Nemesis, instead of like stripping Nemesis down and putting it in every zone, I'd be more interested in having just a little bit more information on which zones it is in. So you're less wondering if it's there.
Should
or
actually
not.
be noticeable, which is the bell, right?
The wondering if it's there or not does help incentivize exploration a little bit, to be like, ooh, should I check a little bit more to see if there's one? Maybe, maybe not. Which is something that we do like. I think there's a lot of things that kind of need to work together to make that a lot of fun, though. So there's some other stuff that's gonna happen first. I don't think I can jump. Oh, it will let me jump that. So
I think we can get like a staff or something. Lot. E7.
okay. I don't know why I was so confused there. I was.
On the echo screen would be pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. Just challenge it and get the stuff. Not really what we're looking for at this point in our leveling process. I should go look at the legendaries I have and see if there's anything that's like twinked out to use.
Do I have any of these that also have management being sword on them? This is probably fine now. This is a huge amount. We have 165 here,
Bring out the live
149.
stream? How could you?
This is almost
You ruined me.
400%. Could be a noticeable difference.
It's quite alright.
Alright, so
Any more improvements to the auction house next cycle? Yeah, there's some more
okay,
improvements to the
so
auction
none
house
of this
coming.
has mana. This does have mana. That'll
There's
affect how much
more
I
UI
get.
updates coming. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure which ones have rolled out
Maybe
yet
I
or
shouldn't
not.
use this.
But there are more UI updates coming. There's more search functionality coming. There's more sorting functionality coming. There's stuff coming. It's been a little slow because we've had to change some database stuff and some server stuff and some API stuff and some, you know, there's things we've had to fix to make this functional the way it needs to be functional. Alright, when will Spriggan Form be able to use a 5th useful skill? Right now, for most Spriggan builds, the 5th skill slot is meh at best, since you can't trigger them while transformed. I mean, you can... I think the
just a
expectation
little
is
bit.
to slap a companion in there right now.
Just
So
a
that's
bit
always
cap.
good.
Go. Supposedly,
Shred,
yeah,
bleed chance.
we'll see.
There's more damage.
So this is
I don't think
220.
I'm gonna bother going to the lightning or the panel.
It'll also
section
give
as
us some
much.
from store. So let's see, we'll do it 2800, I think. 2810. This is what, 3180, I think.
Maybe I'll think of something cool when I play it next cycle. The Spriggan Form.
3180, did I see that correctly? We'll go again, 50. 52,
Wear Forge Guard
32,
armor as alternative.
40.
Yeah, like that sort of thing. Like you want to be Iron Man? All right, be Iron Man.
About there. Let's do one more. 2900 to 3290, roughly.
Alright.
Seems about right.
What if the last laugh laughed when it killed an enemy?
I don't want to add the mana because that also gives me extra from
Or tell a little joke.
sword.
So give you humorous weapons like Soul Calibur. Yeah, it's a cool idea. I really like that. I think it would have to
So
be.
now we have
What
316.
comes to mind? There was a weapon, a slingshot in Dark Souls, called Steve, and it talked to you as you played. I love things like that. How about just a small teaser for Primordial Uniques? Nope. You'll have to be very patient.
Alright, it's pretty consistent. Gives me about 380 to 390. Now with belt, let's test it. The belt and the helm. So this is 316%.
Will we get the uniques with their own
3042.
skill trees in the future? I think so. I think that's something that's likely to happen. We don't have the system functional right now, and there's no specific ones like
roughly
on the horizon. There's no tasks to actually make that system. But I think that's enough of a sort of like.
It definitely does work.
No-brainer, awesome system. Like, yeah, that's just cool. And we've.
Let me just check the math here.
Figured out a way to make it be possible.
So I gained an extra.
I think chances of it happening at some point are pretty high.
About 530.
Soon, I think, are low.
530 mana. Yeah, it does work. I think that confirms it. This is just a UI bug.
Slamming in a way that most of the time failed 3 LP slams is 100% worse than successful 1 LP slam with desired affix.
Ooh, spicy question.
I don't know the best way to get through that, because it's very, very rare that happens. That 3 full affixes are not at least comparable to 1 individual affix, and at a 3 times the chance likely to get that 1 affix on the 3. Like, it's very rare that situation actually happens, and I know everyone who's had that happen more than once is screaming at me going, it's not that rare, it happened to me last week or something, it happened to me yesterday, and it does happen.
It doesn't really even matter how often it happens. The problem is that it's the opposite of what you expect from a
I was
loot
thinking about
game.
this yesterday, actually, and I think
like you should have a really low chance of a really good outcome,
right now,
but instead you have a low chance of a really bad
having
outcome.
some way to reclaim half of it would be.
It's like the opposite of winning the
healthy.
lottery. You like losing the lottery. That's why it feels so bad when it happens. It's not about how likely it is, it's about how bad it feels.
To cost something, there may need to be a downside of some sort, but having some way to reclaim half it, I'm sort of. The reason why I was thinking this is you like. Back to D2 again. Let's talk about that. You know, you're making a rune word and it comes out terrible. And you
fix all my gear.
like you're trying to get that perfect FCR on your spirit shield.
Yeah.
And you only have 1 perfect monarch shield with percent DR on it and everything, and you're like, okay, well, I wouldn't have percent DR, but still, like, you want to get the proper FCR on it, so you slap a hell rune and a TP scroll in the cube, and it is and you get the base back to reuse it again. You know, something like that I think would be good. If we could reclaim something, if we could do something like that, it would have to be the unique that came back and not the exalted. And like, you know, you think about a system like that, and you're like, okay, does it have to come back with 1 less LP now? Maybe. That would feel pretty trash. Is it worth it to do if that's the case? So there's a lot that we need to go into figuring out how something like that could work. I do like the idea. Having at least some way you could reclaim part of it. It would have to have a cost.
Yeah. I mean, I've never suggested it shouldn't have some
I
cost.
think it's also tricky because part of that cost might end up being like. Was also part of thinking about this as well was maybe having it be required to happen immediately, where you're like, you slam it, it doesn't get what you want. You're like, okay, I'm gonna decide right now if I want to actually take this item with me or like go back in time, or yeah, like go back in time again, and it's still there, but like half the pieces are missing, something like that.
This is basically what I've been saying. Like, you get to choose whether you keep the unique, or you get to keep the legendary, or you get to keep the exalt. But he seems to have the opposite opinion, where he thinks the exalt should not be kept, and maybe the unique you could keep.
Or you could like pay someone else that's there, like an NPC, to go back in time and create a time paradox to pull it out for you. And it causes an unstable vortex that destroys half the item, but it comes back. Now we're thinking something.
You believe the exalt should never come back? Maybe.
The engine upgrade
I'm kind of on the fence about that one.
You already had some people working with it.
I feel like my whole gripe is just how
don't hold your breath on
frustrating exalts are to deal with.
I was more just talking about to say,
like, do you know what's really toxic
hey,
about exalts
like,
right now? Is if you want to get good slams, you need
things are good,
crazy amount of copies of exalts.
The next major release will, like the next time the cycle, or
like you need to hoard exalts like crazy just so that you can throw them into the eternal cache and then probably lose them. Like, I feel like this is a really toxic gameplay loop.
If you like.
Just hoarding like 50 copies of exalts, because you're probably gonna rip a bunch.
Earliest would be my guess. Like it's gonna be a while before we actually see.
Like, you could make them more expensive or harder to deal with or something, but just
it's gonna be a while still.
The fact that we're incentivized to hoard that hard.
Where, like, I'm sure you guys have noticed that it happens every once in a while where
like that probably also causes performance issues, right?
And you know,
like you have a bunch of players with like 200 sash tabs full of stuff, right?
Tangentially related or somehow behind the scenes was related
because of how much stuff you actually need to make legendaries.
And I think that that type of regression testing is going to be really important to complete game-wide over.
Pages of failed slam. Well, that's just being a hoarder. I do it too. It has nothing to do with making legendaries. You don't need to keep those. But like the ingredients to making them, you need a lot.
But yeah, we are doing, like, there was an internal build that we were testing a specific new feature for just a couple days ago, and it was done with the new version. Went great. I think I make stuff bleed enough, and this stuff makes stuff bleed enough, so damage against bleeding targets and bleed and stuff like that sounds great.
You have 57? Yeah, that's quite a bit. I don't think I have that many on hardcore yet. Last season I did have 200 though. They were mostly full. Lots of material, yeah.
There's red shred.
Yeah, exactly.
I just have all the nodes, please. Too boring. Alright, when will stash search options be improved? Can we eventually get a sort of filter that applies to stash and inventory as well? Yeah, I think the ultimate goal here is to have the limits apply to your stash and your inventory, optionally. And I know we don't have that functionality right now, but I think that's the ultimate goal.
Itemization is by name? I don't know them by name.
Have to end up being like.
I never look at that stuff.
A temporary, like press and hold this button, and it like it's there while you're holding the button type thing. But as soon as you let go, it turns off again or something like that. I don't know. Because there are some performance concerns there.
I think I knew them by name in PoE. but I feel like I pay a lot less attention to them in last Epoch. Because the affix filter is so much better. I just see the ones I want and then I pick it up.
Speaking of Spriggan form,
Every other one I don't want, I just leave on the ground.
Yes.
Choosing a Spriggan companion feels good early in the game because of the chance to crit, but later in the game it feels impossible to keep her alive. Is it by design or can we?
You hit your
changes?
fourth
I mean,
100? Let's go.
Your minions should be, you know,
That's a lot of XP.
keeping your minions alive should be something that you either need to put into your build or be prepared to do mechanically in the game.
We'll get our
You know, like so you should be
level
prepared
100
to
pretty
be
soon here.
taking like defensive minion stats and affixes and passives and skill points and things like that, or you should be prepared to be like going into the revive circles and reviving them, that sort of thing. But if neither of those are options, then yeah, that's not ideal. Dark Cloud was your favorite PS2 game growing up? I'm gonna bug you so much next week after that. Dark Cloud is one of those games that, like, I feel pretty confident. Like Diablo 2, most Civilization games, just not 3 or 1, and like Dark Cloud, I feel like I can hang in just about any conversation about those games. In grade 10, I want to say. We had a project in a writing class that I was in that was like, it was write something big, whatever you want. It was an entire semester project, and I wrote like 150-page strategy guide for it.
After 17 years of painting. Wow. Oof. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, it is fun to play this game, even though it has a lot of problems. But it's still fun. That's what matters.
Yeah, bring it on. Dark Cloud's the best. Dark Cloud 2 is also awesome, but Dark Cloud 1 was something special. That's a game that I would love a remake of. Do you guys think about adding a way to play more than one echo in a row while the reward stacks up? A bunch of people think that browsing echoes is a waste of time. I think it would be... We don't have something like that planned right now. But I can understand the feedback. The problem about failed 3LP slams is that it mostly applies to extremely rare 3LP uniques, like ones that drop 1 in 3-7,000 with a reroll chance. Big high top. On top of it, it's painful to fail something like this, and I'm running around in circles right now. Do I only have to do one of them now?
15, yeah. The frame rate's really bad.
I knew that we changed that, so you only had to do one.
Issue. Performance is one of the biggest problems.
But we fixed that too. Okay, we're getting there. What am I trying to say? We're talking about more stuff with the really super rare 3LP stuff.
It's probably gonna say you aren't meant to get them.
Yeah,
These aren't intended items in the game.
25%.
Or something. That's my guess. Like, these are very rare items you probably shouldn't expect to
all I was saying
happen.
is that I think it's really rare that failing that is like dramatically worse than succeeding the 1 LP roll of the same item.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah.
Like if
The
you're loading up
chance
item
is the
with
same.
4 useful affixes and getting 3 useful affixes has got to be at least in the same ballpark as the perfect 1 affix, right? And I'm sure there's situations where that's not true, but like, for the most part, that should probably be true. Are you guys gonna nerf or remove the zombie experimental mod on belt? Some content creators think so for next patch. I don't have any information on the status of potential balance changes for upcoming patches. I'm sure this has been asked a million times, and that's okay. But is there any roadmap for improving animations and the general feel of movement in combat? Things feel better late game, but everything still feels so stiff. I mean, we're always looking at improving everything, so
Matt has Lithrax. We are leaving. No Lithrax.
Yep, just one. I still can't figure out the repro. Oh no, I don't know what that was for. You can tell me later though. Hi Mike. How do you feel about Minion army builds in last Epoch? Squirrel wolves kind of work for BM, though every army build falls flat at some point. Just feel because we don't have a way to make minions survive while also doing high damage and corruption. Not even too high. 300 plus is already a problem for Negro. 500 plus for squirrels. Should we have more avenues to make them survive, or do you think they are in a good state? I think that's like right in the pocket. It sounds like you're describing like they might be like a tiny bit undertuned, maybe, but it sounds great.
I mean, I'm not a Minion player, so I don't really know if what he's saying makes sense. But it kind of sounds to me like it's a lot harder for you to scale the Minion builds to the point that the strongest non-Minion builds can get to because of that.
Those hurt too.
Like it's a hard cap. I don't know if that's the case.
Good thing I'm not still using the actual scary boots.
Yes.
You missed the start of the stream, my goodness. I was accidentally wearing the veterans boots and did not realize it because I haven't played this character in months.
That does sound kind of annoying
I
though.
was dying like crazy. Couldn't figure out why. I'm like, alright, I'm gonna go upgrade my gear. Figured it out. Revenue. Hey, a belt. Ooh, piece of candy.
Alright, we're gonna spend a lot of favor here.
Council chambers gotta go back.
Get
And
500K.
side quests. Here we go first.
Experience Shrine.
Any plans for farming blessings? Feels bad to stop and farm corruption. Go for a blessing in a timeline that you didn't play / corrupted much. I mean,
Farming Red Rings?
pretty
Yes, we are.
intense corruption catch-up mechanics
Red
right
Ring is
now.
my #1 priority right now.
So probably no more than there already is. Like it's if you've got a corruption, like if you've got a one time that's really far ahead in corruption, and you want to go get another.
I'm surprised to see people still complaining about
another timeline
corruption.
That's too low corruption.
I
You
feel
can
like the
pick up
catch-up
on that
is
one up
extremely
really quickly,
generous.
and then farm it at higher corruption, so you're still getting good stuff. So probably not. Yeah.
Yes.
If you're unaware, there is a very significant corruption catch-up mechanic.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with corruption. I don't have any
Ooh,
issues.
What's this? Foraging? Never heard of it.
What do you want?
Still don't know why there's a chest there. Okay, let's see if we can grab some
Especially on alt, so you could get to like 300 corruption so fast. Grinding stability for your ult
Things there improved.
without a lot of envy. If you don't have a lot of envy, then you
Okay, that's
probably
an improvement.
you either farmed an insane amount of boss items, or you haven't really played that much yet, I think. Because, like, it really doesn't take that much envies to get your corruption up to, like, 300 on a new character.
No other stuff.
You're shooting for, like, 1,000, sure.
It's just a better crit avoidance version of what I'm wearing. Sure.
Yeah, I think it is confusing for new players. I mean, we obviously know it because we were here when the change was made. We read everything.
I mean,
Yeah, you need to level up your character.
that could be cool.
Going empowered too early, you
Let's
just
give
get the
that a
huge
shot.
XP penalties, and it's probably not even worth it.
He's off. Tab is full. No. Oh, it won't even sort. How do I do this? Legendary, legendary, garbage, legendary, legendary. I should probably just even. Let's just use it the last little bit of.
Could probably start making my filter a bit more strict. There's a lot of stuff I don't care about anymore.
Those items so bad. Do we have a better chest than that somewhere? We must have a better chest than that in here. My goodness. Just that's better right now, isn't it? Yep. Way too low level for any of these.
Another 50k. We'll go buy some proxy.
Yeah. Good enough. Moving on. We go back to council chambers, don't we? Ruined. Council chambers. More questions! COF prophecies in our gameplay a lot. Do you have to you have to stop playing and spend a lot of time rolling prophecies?
True.
Any chance of getting alternative mechanics in the future that fulfill the same function but are more enjoyable or don't interrupt gameplay so much? I mean, it is kind of intentional that there is some breakup to what's happening. It might be a little too much.
Easy. Increase reroll cost and then give more reroll targeting. Right? So the reroll just takes so long.
So I mean, we're always trying to make the game better, so sure. Hi Mike, hope you are having a nice day. I remember when you mentioned that EHG had plans to change / tweak the crit mechanic.
Did they?
Cite your source, please. Any news or insight on this topic, maybe? Thank you.
You're just stunned because they're kind of corruption already.
Alright, if you weren't limited
pretty
by
spicy.
money or time, what is the single biggest thing you would love to add to the game? Procedural generation zones in every area. Well, not in every area, sorry. In the end game. And like full monolith.
Hey, Quirky, what's up? How's it going? How's your day going?
And zone persistence. Procedural generation and zone persistence.
Just in time for the mic stream.
thing you're talking about. I know what crit thing you're talking about. This is the removing increased critical strike chance as an affix in the game. Yes. Yeah, and you just said it too. I mean, the percent crit chance, it only came the plus. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
I'm with you. I got there. I think it kind of got paused, but I think it's still. It's one of those things like, yeah, we're still gonna do it.
You finished the longest day in a while.
But just a bajillion.
Baking, present wrapping, decorating. Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds like a busy day. I'm guessing you had work? I don't know.
Okay, our damage.
Even that alone already sounds like a pretty busy day. Yeah, mine's pretty uneventful. It's still pretty early. I just finished my work day and then
Where you going?
hopped on last Epoch, and here we are.
Where you going? Where do you think you're going? Huh?
Did I? Oh. Oops. Oh.
Generally, the way players are forced.
Well, I'll be right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I did move my mic by accident.
That are not even,
I always smash my head into it.
I feel like adding lenses for specific items are mandatory. Also, bringing up the 1 LP prophecies are just useless. You gotta change that. Cool. With D4 expansion in October and PoE 2 in November, should we expect a December 3rd cycle for LE?
Yeah, that sounds cool though. I'm sure it'll be a good time, right? How old is your son turning? If that's not a weird question to ask. $16. Ooh, this is a nice boot. Wow.
That we'll have a proper announcement on the next.
This is such a nice boot. Strength is armor. And then we have armor and open suffix. Crazy good boot.
Boys, aren't we? Oh, we got a team on the Raptor.
Very fast but laggy. Yeah.
With strength this way.
Yeah, this is a really nice boot. Turning to. Oh, okay. Yeah. So super young. I gotcha.
2 LP build enabling weapons that would have each given me the motivation to build a new character from scratch. Losing the 4 to 6 gamble 3 times
I gotcha.
in a row. Each item took me like 15 plus hours to get. It was just fed
So
up
that'll
since
probably
then.
be a
I didn't
pretty
get to the game even once.
high energy event, I imagine, at that age.
In general, we're not really huge on pity mechanics, but this does go back to what I was talking about. I don't know if you were like just tuning in. Maybe we're I was just talking about this like 10 minutes ago. Your build's Ice Barrage plus Spark Charge. I think the short version is. Yeah, I tested Ice Barrage a bit. It seemed okay. Help salvage the situation when you get in a situation like that. I think it's really good that there is a like it's not guaranteed what you're gonna get exactly, and the higher the higher risk ones do have a very big chance of like or have a chance of becoming very a negative experience, which is really frustrating. But it kind of takes away from it if it when it comes out good. It's like without the low you can't have the high, you know, that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think I have any memories from when I was that young, to be honest. It's definitely
I understand the
definitely that age.
Wanting to have some sort of like
I feel like at that age it's still
multiple times in a row.
It's still more for the family, right?
So one of the dangers of a pity mechanic in general is
than the youngster.
If for the record, I'll take very clear that we've never put a pity mechanic in the game. We don't have any plans to at this point. So there's no sense in trying to do what I'm about to say because it's not in the game specifically for this reason. Is hypothetically, if there was a system in the game whereby if you like every time you missed a like missed the exalted affix or something like that, it increased the chances of hitting the exalted affix in the next time. There's this situation you get into where people will be like, okay, in order to have the best chance to hit on the really important crafts, you sacrifice crafts you don't care
She
about
knows
at all
stuff when
to
she
the
was
system
2.
until you get your game into a state where the pity mechanic puts it into effect. So you're like, just run
It's
terrible things.
might
through
be
the system.
possible.
Just be like, I don't care which one hits. I don't care if it's good or bad. You just record like, oh, miss, and you get 3 misses in a row. Great, now you go do your good one. And having that,
I mean, I'm
like,
guessing you don't remember
secret,
anything from when you were 2
obscure,
now, but maybe
plausible play,
maybe when you were 5 you did.
mechanic that is just
It's
like
I guess it is possible.
tedious and
I think, right?
kind of painful to deal with is really something we want to avoid.
I don't know what kind of
like,
memories you would have though,
having
because like
guides
you
pop up on
at that
YouTube,
age you aren't really like processing
hey,
everything.
here's like crafting explained in last Epoch. But like,
So I don't know how you
like,
would be
alright,
able to
first
remember
is
something
getting
that like
40 uniques that you don't care
you
about
weren't
that have LP,
fully
40
able to
examples
process
that go
at the
with.
time.
Alright, we're gonna craft them all until there's a
Like how would that memory even look
into a
like?
stretch of 3 failures, and then we're gonna do the good one. And you're like that would just be like, why?
I don't know.
You know?
That's a question for like a psychologist or something.
So hopefully that gives a little insight into why we don't do pity mechanics
Definitely
in
outside
general.
of my profession.
But I do think that there's room for improving the situation a different way. This res is good. Better than not. We're just about time, a little bit over. Oh, I need that chest actually.
468.
Just
Getting
the way
pretty
it went.
close.
We'll answer a couple more. Will there be new uniques next cycle? Yes. There's always new uniques every cycle.
New uniques, let's go.
Will there be more support or new Weaver Wills uniques? I think there's... There is... If you look at the roadmap, I know it's not perfect right now, a little old, but there are...
Gonna lurk a bit. All right. Thanks for dropping in.
Oh, there is not too bad. I think there
Hope
are
you
some
hope you enjoy your gaming session.
thematically appropriate things on the roadmap that would suggest a link between Weaver's Will items that might be a good time to revisit the system and do stuff to it. You never know.
Weaver's rework? Maybe?
What is the top one thing that you specifically really want to address in LE but don't have the time or agreement for it yet?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Weavers. I find them just so tedious to level up. Even if you farm a lot of them,
I mean,
it's still such a pain.
it's a hard question the way it's worded because like everything that's really important we're making the time for, you know.
If they leveled faster at higher corruption, I'd probably be okay with it.
And I know I'm gonna live with that. It's gonna be okay.
But it's still just as slow.
Now that we're at the end of the stream, you realize you haven't died once since removing those boots? Tell us the truth, it was to help the thing go right. I have noticed that, yes. Touching on the support topic, any plans to do more viability to support builds? I mean, I don't think we specifically say like, hey, this is gonna be a support build tool, necessarily. But yeah, there's definitely things that I've put in planning documents recently that were targeted at support playstyles. I'll say that much. And that's what do it for me. Thanks for coming out, everybody. I had a ton of fun. I hope
Let's
you
go.
do too. I'll be back same time, same place next week to answer more questions.
We got some
If I missed
spicy
a question,
questions.
I'm sorry, it was not intentional. If you'd still like me to answer, please head on over to our Discord, where we have an Ask the Dev channel, and I will be happy to answer it for you there. There you go, thanks for the stream. Boom, thanks for stopping by. Oh, drink lots of water. I had a great stream today. I had a lot of fun. Still can't believe I had those boots on. My goodness. It's been a while since we've gone and talked to. Let's let him mock me. It's fine. Fine.
Any thoughts? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was... There's really much like
gained in
groundbreaking.
we don't want to incentivize it quite that heavily for XP gained, but you know, we do some stuff already, and
Custom characters. Performance. Yes.
Wow,
Performance.
Aaron is so much quieter than Mike. Right, we can close that.
Performance was definitely talked about. Custom UI, transmog, buff to COF.
Yeah, nothing really like super spicy. Feel like we're still quite a ways away from any like next season stuff. I think he's hinted at the tab affinity though, which could be interesting. And I feel like he sounds like he's coming around to the possibility of some level of determinism in like LP, for example. So who knows? Who knows how that turns out? All right, we need another 24K. He's talking about it, yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's how it starts. What else is good for Spellblade? Curse is playing a pretty cool Spellblade build. With, I think it's Flame Reave and... what is that skill called? Firebrand? It looks really good. I don't think it's as good as this build, or probably not even as good as Nova Frostclaw, but it still does look quite good if you want to do a melee-ish build. Can't spill all the beans? Yeah. Yeah, you gotta leave some beans unspilled for later. Exactly. Mike is the master hypesman. You can always tell Mike just like has something that he's like, he knows is super spicy, but he just can't say it. Always like right on the edge of the seat. Yeah. It's very consistent dev streams. Mike has been at it for a long time. No. No, I think it's pretty cool. I don't even remember if PoE did anything like that early on. I think they did have dev talks or something. I don't remember if they had like Twitch dev streams or anything though. I don't think so. Definitely not regularly, right? PoE's run by the Reddit people? Hmm. I mean, Last Epoch also has people on Reddit, but they're also active on their Discord, and you have Mike in the dev streams, and they're... sometimes you see them in game chat. Stuff like that. They're kind of everywhere, which is nice. It's also important to remember that the voices that you see on Reddit generally represent a pretty small subset of players. There's a lot of people that are playing the game that never go onto Reddit or anything. Usually it's a much more casual player base. That's like a very large source of revenue, but pretty quiet as far as like seeing their opinions and stuff, you know? I still remember the Delirium League in PoE. There was like that extremely overpowered build. There was so much drama on Reddit. Like first they did they say they didn't want to nerf or something? I forget. They like backtracked several times. They like nerfed it, and then a bunch of people were really salty. Everybody that was playing it was like salty that they spent all their currency getting the build, and then it was broken, didn't work anymore. And then they're like, "Oh, oops, we're gonna bring it back." And then everybody was salty because they sold their items, and they had to like rebuy them again. They like backtracked like 3 or 4 times. It's all just Reddit complaining. You're looking for a different caster. If you want to play caster as Spellblade, I don't know. I think you have a couple options. It's a little bit weird. But you do get the crit thing. So anything you want to play crit, you could kind of go Spellblade. It might just be better as a Sorc, though. If you want to play like Spellblade, I don't know, non-melee something. Fireball, I don't know. Lightning Blast. Most of these would probably be pretty bad. But you do get free crit caps, so that's one benefit. Oh my god, the stash. Okay, we just need 10k more. Getting pretty close. Fireball seems so weak, though. I feel like Fireball needs some love, you know? Like, it's not super great single target. I think it can potentially be okay AoE, but it's still not as good as the top Sorc skills. Fireball Meteor was your first Sorc build? Yeah, the Meteor Fireball synergy is pretty good, because you get the Fire Pen and the cast speed and all that stuff. Maybe some sort of like ignite thing, maybe? I don't know. Some ideas. Your first build ever? Oh, okay. It's not a bad place to start. There are definitely much worse builds. I think we need one more, maybe 2. No, this is hardcore, yeah. I did get the beacon. We've been blasting this character for a while. I'm bored in life. It's great, isn't it? We just do the same thing, except in hardcore. Just without dying. I do need to bump this up in corruption, but I'm kind of not looking forward to finding the beacon again. Okay, one more run. And then we'll go get ring prophecies. Try and get red ring. There we go, we have our 500. We do have pretty good gear for hardcore though. Very, very spicy gear. It's nice. So it turns out Reign of Dragons is actually quite good, because it has pretty much every prophecy. You will eventually get there. I think it has the most different enemy types. I think the only one missing is Void Horror. Alright, this time we're gonna get it, right? Have to. Any cool developments? We have gotten quite a bit of really good gear. We're almost at 200 INT, which is very solid. We are trying to get Red Ring now, though. We have already got our T7 multi Ryan's Eye, which I think was probably going to be one of the hardest pieces to get for a build. So having that done is good. I still do want 2 LP Exile boots, though. Anyway, how's your Friday or Saturday going? Oh, such pain. Sure. Guys, they really need to buff the rerolling. Just let me spend like triple the cost or something and have fewer rerolls to do. It's the blocker lenses are completely useless. Unfortunate. You're back. Welcome back. You have not missed much. We are just spamming as my brain slowly melts. Burning through 500,000 favor. Making dinner? Nice. What's for dinner? I saw the image. Meatloaf. Meatloaf is pug. Do you put the ketchup on top? Sometimes there's ketchup on top. Not a huge fan. The ketchup. Mustard? Okay, mustard sounds interesting. I like that idea. Sounds good. Do you put eggs in it? Like in the middle? My grandmother always put eggs inside of the meatloaf. Dijon? Yeah. Gotta fill it with cheese. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. For structural, does the egg actually help the structure? Cheese filling, yeah. Yeah, it sounds good. You put eggs in the ground. Oh, no, I meant like a entire egg. Like a hard-boiled egg inside of the meatloaf. Like just hard-boiled eggs. I mean, the meat to help it stick together, I understand, yeah. We do that with like the burger patties and stuff, but some people put the whole eggs. They turn super hard, yeah. Yeah, it is a little weird. All right, could we get one more ring? 7. For the drop blessing, I honestly haven't taken them yet. I still don't have any drop blessings. I'd probably do rings with how hard it is to get int rings. And you need more of them, usually. Get the mission tech. That's a level of OCD that I fortunately don't have. Alright, there's no point in me continuing to roll. I can't afford anything anyway. At that point, we're just window shopping. Alright, I'm going to go to my highest corruption timeline. Then I'm going to do the bosses because they're free. Always do your highest corruption fulfillments first, so you get more LP. Do the dungeon last. Anything interesting? How many boss prophecies do we have anyway? Not many. Is that it? Is that all I had? Oh, this is not worth bothering with. Just for a rare ring. I'm not going to bother doing the beacon for the first bit, because then you just end up with loot all over the ground. Immortal Eye. I think I had a prophecy for Immortal Eye. Maybe. Pretty sure I did. Should be like 6 kills, right? Wow. It's actually crazy how long I've been without a red ring. Very unlucky. Feels bad. We even have siege golems in this map. Should be able to get a lot of our prophecies done. We actually do enough damage that we can kill them through their shield. It's pretty good. Their proximity bubble. Ugh. So many useless ring. Oh, 6 attribute. Okay. 2 and 4. Another T7 int ring. So the rare ring prophecies are coming in pretty handy. Getting quite a few T7 ints with pretty little amount of favor, actually. Three LP grip. Yeah, I have a. I think it's a perfect 3 LP grip. Like 2% crit, 8% mana, I think. Really nice one. Not a single red ring though, even 0 LP. What do we need Scorpion. I didn't complete Siege Golem. Still have a few Siege Golem prophecy. Yeah, we're up to 4 T7 int rings now. It's not bad in creation as well. Big issue is finding the exiled mage though. It's like never spawn in this map. Siege Golem, let's go. Yeah. Mike did hint at reversal, I'm pretty sure. I don't know when the changes are coming. It sounds like they want to just rework it, though. I don't know if they're going to bother fixing it if they're just doing a rework. Not completely sure that's what they're doing. That was my interpretation, though. Have I still not gotten 10 siege golems? It's 10, right? Yeah. Yeah, 1 of 2 for 5. I only need 10 siege golems. I've encountered them twice and gotten fewer than 10. Unlucky. If you do an echo that's surrounded, the low corruption doesn't? I guess that makes sense. Where would they spawn it, right? Yeah, it's good to know, though. The shade farm still works? I think so. I don't remember it being fixed. I think the problem was that the loot is really bad
Yes.
because it's near the center. But you should still be able to do it. Belts suck to farm so much. I think I only found like 2 crit reduction belts ever on this character. Belts and rings, for whatever reason, always seem to be a pain. See, I'm done picking up 1 LPs of those. Do not care. Can probably filter quite a few. If I guess I show 0. I don't know if I even care about 0 anymore either. Honestly, these things are really annoying to look at. I think I might disable this. Removes a lot of the clutter, doesn't it? I feel like I could also just hide all the 2 LP rings as well. There, they should show now. Only 2 OP plus. Siege Golem, let's go. Alright. We full clear, we gotta find the Siege Golem. How am I not getting Prophecy proc from these Siege Golems? Am I missing something? It took like 8 of them. It's gotta be some sort of bug. Corruption? I'm above corruption for any of the corruption things. I'm like 310. I think I just finished them. I definitely killed more than 10 of them though. So we still need Scorpion, Mage, obviously, Siege Golem. Isn't it 330? I don't think so. I did complete it eventually, so it definitely wasn't. I think we just need Scorpion and Mages. And there's some dungeon ones. Even if the prophecies take a while, if I can complete them without running a different map, I think it's generally worth it. If you have to like go do different content versus your farm to proc prophecies, it's kind of wasting time. Dungeon's not so bad though. The Temp Sanctum. It's like a couple minutes. You get a bunch of procs. You need slams anyway. We have egg. Do I not have any matron prophecies though, really? Like, that does seem a little weird. An entire panel of prophecies. This is working, right? Silver ring above 75 unique. Yeah, this does work. Imagine if it didn't, I'd be pretty sad, yeah. I'm probably close to 2 million favor though, with no red ring. I don't know what's up with that. Assuming that these don't give me one. You haven't dropped a red ring yet? Just more favor, I guess. Well, it depends on how much you've farmed rings. They are pretty rare. It's like 1 out of every 500 or something. $180k favor and 150 runes of sentence. I don't even know. It might not even be enough. Hey Crom, what's up? How's it going? Yeah, the red ring dream feels so far away. It is a challenge. I think around 500k favor-ish is probably reasonable. I don't remember exactly. You could do the math somewhat easily. It's probably less than 500k, actually. I think from an Ascendant, it's like 1 in 700, which also includes set rings. Unique rings are much less than 1,000 favor per item. So, I don't know. Big standard deviation, yeah, exactly. Sometimes you get a lot of red rings, sometimes you get no red rings. I don't think I've ever gone this long without a red ring, though. Is especially unlucky. Void Reef is buggy with a racing strike. Why is it buggy? Is there like an animation cancel thing? Your character gets stuck if you use them at the same time. There's some stuff like that that happens with Volatile and Reversal too. Like Teleport Smite. If you use Volatile Reversal and Teleport Smite at the same time, it cancels the teleport back from the reversal. You just move wherever Smite wanted to take you. But you still get the buff from Volatile. It's actually pretty cool. A lot of weird Sentinel bugs, I guess. You need to use it again to get unstuck. It's annoying. Not a hardcore build. Yeah, I don't think there's that many hardcore Void Knight builds. Feels like generally a squishier class. Yeah, you only need to die once. It is true. That's why Sork is so great. Very consistent. You got Salt of the Wound, very nice. That's a rare one. Let's see that. With hybrid health on it. Very nice. Hit multi, yeah. That is pretty nice. Ugh, feeling really tired today. Did not sleep much. I don't know how long my stream is gonna go. Has been a long week. Good point for you to hop up and go to bed. Yeah, I probably don't have that much more time left in me. Good night, Cracky. Thanks for dropping in. Hope to catch you in the next one. Yeah, I'm pretty close to being mentally checked out. The favor farm brain rot is definitely a real thing, though. Oh, we hit level 100. Let's go. I didn't even notice. And the bar resets. I don't understand why the giant scorpions are so rare. Just been waiting on that one to proc prophecy for, I don't know, like 30 minutes now? I feel like I'm gonna get back up to 500k before I even proc all these prophecies. Siege Golem? I think I finished Siege Golem, right? I think I'll do this, and then maybe I'll do a T4 Julra, just to proc some prophecies. Your build uses only boss units? That's really rough to farm as COF. Just to rotate through all the different things. Can't wait until they add auto pickup for shards. Did they say they were going to do that? I don't remember. It'd be pretty nice. No items from Prophecy. Well, I guess you just buy exalted items then. Or for the next build. They hinted at it. Yeah, that would be nice. I'd be pretty happy. Huge quality of life. Oh, I think that's a bug. I think that's a new bug with one of the recent patches. When you're trying to pick up items, you path. Weird for no reason. Hope they fix that soon. I think they might be aware of it. They might have mentioned somewhere about that. Alright, let's go do a Julra. I don't know if I have anything to slam. Well, hopefully we don't rip to Julra.
Intruders? A waste of time.
Yeah, it is. It is really slow and laggy. It's definitely not working as intended. I don't know what they changed that broke it though. Something recent. They also did something to make the stash really laggy too, in the recent patch. I feel like this last patch had a lot of issues. They did end up rolling it back at some point. Maybe there were still some more bugs to work out.
What's this? How are they manipulating time? Could it be?
Not just you. No, there's some issues. It's been going on since last patch. Is there an update to the build? Not really. There is the static orb Frostclaw build that I put a guide for recently. Otherwise, that one is still pretty accurate. I forget if I included wrong warp in it or not. I think it's in the spreadsheet that I put together. We keep dropping 3 LPs, but no red ring. Starting to get paranoid. Warp is not on the video? Oh, okay. Well, it should be in the spreadsheet in any case. I did mention it as one of the better items. If not, I can update the spreadsheet.
It all makes sense now. The Epoch has finally come to me.
Did we get all the rare enemy? Still have rings here. We have a lot of procs from Jolra. Hopefully we don't rip. Maybe Jolra will drop the red ring. Wouldn't that be the dream? And just drop red ring from Jolra. Easy game. Yeah, let's stack up a bit of ward. There we go.
I will have it.
Ooh, lag. Another T7 int ring. Another 3 LP. Another LP Osirian. Timeline specific loot outside of the timeline? No, you cannot. If you're talking about like boss drops or whatever. Wait, what? Red ring is not timeline specific. A tour to the equipment? Yeah, give me 1 second. If you're getting your info from the Last Epoch Tools website of where things drop, it's like, it's kind of a trap. It's not really correct. The timeline to target farm is it's a lie. Yeah, so I guess gear, prismatic gaze, we need the 4% base crit. We slammed on the T16, or the 16 int. This, we went for a high mana roll, and then we slammed on 24 int. The boots, same story. We went for a high roll on the int, and then we slammed T7 int. Relic, same story. We slammed on T7 int. What else? The gloves, we wanted T7 int. The ring, we just wanted a lot of int, so we have a bunch of int. The enigma, we want spell crit, so we slammed on spell crit. Then here we wanted mana spend gained as ward and crit multi, but I missed crit multi. It's stun chance. And then Orion's Eye, we went high roll mana and crit multi, which is what I got. So think that's pretty much. Oh yeah, the belt. We want high roll, mana spent gained as ward, and I slam T7 crit reduction. That with these gloves, I'm capped along with my passives. Where should you be looking? Anywhere, it doesn't matter. The prophecy can drop red ring anywhere. The build guide, yeah, just hit the slimes. 3 LP. Ah, it's a 1 crit. Come on, feels bad. Such a bad roll. Why does almost every Stork boot you? These boots are insane. For almost any build, these boots are like completely insane. 30% move speed. It's actually up to 40% move speed on the base. Plus all of these stats on it, like strength is armor, int is damage. Like the boots are just completely broken. Best boots in the game for a lot of builds. Okay, so we have another T7 int ring. Someday we will get a red ring. What do we want to slam? Can all uniques drop in different places? No. If it says unique dropped from, actually, yeah, let's bring it up, because this is a useful question to answer. Let me bring up the item DB here real quick. Where is it? Yeah. Okay, so in the item DB, if we grab unique items, so let's say, for example, Twisted Heart. I'll say Stormcraft. Here's one that I'm using. Okay, so you can see here, it says dropped from Lagon, right? If we go grab another one like Red Ring, here it says random drop. This bit here is like a complete load of bullshit. Ignore this. It's like not relevant at all. This is like from pre 1.0 patch. This was relevant and doesn't matter anymore. If it doesn't say dropped from, like here, it can drop anywhere. Yeah, that's like a really common question. I don't think that the explanation on the website is very good. Like it confuses a lot of people. What do we actually want to slam here? Question mark? I don't really have anything I want. I could do a ring into the Phantom Grip, I guess, right? If I hit this, would I use it? Probably. If I have a good base. I don't think I do, though. Something with a good suffix. This is pretty good. I can try craft this. Yeah, no problem. Let's see what can we craft on here. We need gold res. We could probably use necrotic res. Fizz res. No, fizz res we have on the relic. I think necrotic is what we want. This is going to be a hard craft. Ah, 16, okay. It's pretty bad. I don't think this is really worthy of a slam, is it? I don't know if I'm going to get much better than that. It's kind of a waste of an entering. I don't really want to waste a removal too, because these are important for red ring slams. Yeah, I don't think I can do better. Yeah. This is usable for a 2 LP slam, 2 good affix, but for a 3, not so much. I do have a 2 LP wrong warp here. I could try and slam if I have something. It's kind of a bad roll on the haste, though. I guess while I'm here, why not? This technically gives me more ward for Frostclaw, Freeze Ray Multi. I don't think it's better, though. There, we can do one more. I think we have some more uniques. Then I'll probably call it a day. Assuming we don't rip.
More rats don't gnaw at the edges of my sanctum.
We should do a video called Myths. Lots of book myths. Yeah. Could probably do something like that. Oh, my game almost crashed.
Such power. There is only one explanation.
I do kind of base my video ideas off of, like, if I get asked a question a lot, then it kind of tells me that it's a good video topic. It's helpful for me to know what types of questions people are asking. Myth #1 red rings. Yeah, it feels like it. What is the state of Merchant Guild in hardcore? I heard it's pretty bad. You asked Mike? Yeah, I heard the question. I feel like we didn't really get an answer. Like a proper answer. I don't really think that Mike sees it as a problem. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. I don't think the way Mike said it was like he explained it as like it's something that's really improbable, so it's not a big deal. But like that's not really the problem. The problem is it's like a reverse lottery where like for a 1 LP you have a 1 in 4 chance to get something good, so you don't expect the outcome, and then you're really like surprised and excited when you hit it. For a 3 LP you have a 75% chance of a good outcome, which makes getting the bad outcome feel so much worse. Like it's not like a probability thing, it's more of a feeling thing. I think they could clean that up a bit. I wonder if I could tank that hit. Probably test it on offline. Ooh, lag. And that's a red ring. It's actually a pretty nice roll, minus the move speed. No LP though, we need to throw it in an egg. From Jorah, yeah, just like I said. Jorah, the bringer of rings. I can't really use it until I egg it though, so I need to rework all of my resists. They're kind of a complete mess right now. The biggest benefit of Red Ring right now is to fix my resists, and then I don't have to rely on idols as much. I don't know if I have anything else to throw in here. How are my resists anyway? Pretty good. Yeah, these resists are actually fine, and I have room for 2 more idols, so that would bring my mana up to like 1300 or something. The red ring. It's like the main reason why I wanted red ring. It's like a huge boost to mana. And also armor because of the armor on the idols. With Phantom? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know about Phantom. I think that the armor I get from the Fairboars is still better than the mana. If I was Static Orb, I might agree with you. But Phantom Grip, the base crit, I already have a lot of crit. I'm pretty much near cap anyway. The mana is not that great. I don't think it's better than a Fairboar ring. And that assumes that I hit the slam as well. When I first started in hardcore, Frostclaw was lightning. It's because all of my damage scaling is lightning. Early on, the base damage of Frostclaw actually matters. Once you have really good gear, it doesn't matter anymore. Then you can do whatever you want. You also get +1 level with Enigma, but it costs like 2 levels just to get to it. Phantom is useful if you have a good barbarian. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, so we can't use red ring yet. I need to egg it first. Once I egg it, then we can reevaluate. Because my resists are really, really bad. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, that is a adventure for another day. Let's do up a raid as always. Who is streaming? I got a red ring. Yeah, we do. Oh yeah, wait. I have to hold on before we go. I do have to link that in chat. Fog. You could have streamed. Feels bad. Nobody wants to watch your softcore streaming. No, I'm just kidding. mean, my gameplay honestly just looks like softcore gameplay with slightly less time. Alright, let's do up. Alright, let's do up a raid. How did I get it? I got it from Prophecy. Dropped when I killed Jilra. Alright, thank you guys all for dropping in. I'll catch you in the next one. Let's show some love to Mr. Perry. See ya.